Men have protective jealousy over our women folk, but they're suppressing it. They let society tell them that you are a misogynist if you tell your wife to get off social media and stop showing her face to everyone and beauty to everyone and makeup to everyone and body to everyone and curves to everyone. They let society brainwash them and take down the honor that Allah has given you with the haqq. What do you expect if you're asking for evil eye? Do you want other men thinking about what it would be like to be with your wife?
Of course not.
So why give them visuals? Why give them ammunition, bro?
So you're saying the reason that I keep imagining myself in Tate's Bugatti is because I keep looking at pictures of Tate's Bugatti. Assalamu alaikum. I am not a happy bunny, mate. Very far from a happy bunny right now. It's 1 a.m. and my unfortunate co-host, Mr. Fired Fit, has asked me to run back a podcast. We were having our kanafa, we had our karak chai, late at night, just when I thought I'm going to get to bed, Mr. Fired Fit tells me to run a podcast for the Not More Muslim Podcast Bros on a podcast. And unfortunately, I'm finding that these podcasts are starting to touch on more and more uncomfortable topics, to which I'm starting to question more and more why on earth I'm bloody here. But here we are, 1 a.m, karak chai, that's finished, it's done. Had my kanafa. And now watch this, check this. Mr. Fired Fit. What's the topic today, mate?
There's an epidemic going on, bro. As much as I'd like to say that I called you up here at 1 a.m. for just ish and giggles, and there's no actual importance of the topic at hand, there's an epidemic, bro. There's a crisis at hand. Muslim men are not only allowing their wives to strut in a tight abaya, beautifying herself, bro. I'm talking caked up, doing TikTok dances, Tabarruj to the next degree. They themselves are in the corner of the camera, twiddling their thumbs as their wife is doing their makeup. And their wives, no haya, bro, unfortunately. We gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this culture of Dayooth men. Men that have no Ghayrah. Social media couples, influencer couples, Muslims. And the implications that it's going to have on the ummah.
Dayooth men and influencer couples. That's what we're talking about today. Okay. What else did I expect with you, mate? All right, no problem. Let's rock and roll. Let's get TikToked, bro. Talk to me. Let's kick this thing off, brother. We're talking about influencer couples. They're showing off their misses. The man them are doing the makeup. And it's a joke thing, bruv.
And the captions say, "My husband does my gym makeup."
Are we making things up now, Fayad, or is this real?
Wallahi, this is real. This is what the Sahaba died for, radiyallahu anhum. This is the modern man today, representative of Islam, doing my wife's gym makeup.
You know, I'm part of the generation of gentlemen who believed that TikTok was for children who want to do dances, mate. Okay? Only recently, upon getting TikTok, bro, did I find out that TikTok is more than just little dances. It's also for some joke man and for some joke gal and children to make some joke content, mate. All right. So, describe some of these videos to me. What's going on, mate? So,
you got gyal them with their husbands.
Okay.
Showing my husband does my gym makeup. You got them doing a couple things, how we met. Airing the haram relationship they had before marriage for the ummah. Talking about their first night. Talking about how intimacy went. Not in an academic, intellectual teaching point of view. But talking about their gory, explicit details. Publicizing their personal, intimate affairs, bro. This is a problem.
You know what? On the old Instagram Reels, mate. feel like a dinosaur anytime I talk about Instagram Reels. But on the old Instagram Reels, I think I have had this, mate. I think I have seen people talk about their first nights being married, which is why are you telling me this? Why are we hearing about this?
Lesser men would start imagining what it would feel like if they were the husband, and this is reality, bro.
Well, yes. Listen, we live in a perverted society with lots of corn and with lots of bad ideas and bad thoughts, and 'tis the nature of men, I guess, to imagine and let their mind delve into such things.
Of course, I've seen married sisters do POV thirst traps on TikTok, doing dishes saying, "Here's why I'm wifey AF," and they already got a husband. Why are you showing the world why you're wifey AF? Explain this, bro.
Brother, I want you to explain to me why this is happening, bro. Why? What is trying to be achieved here through these Instagram couples and these loads of makeup and this loads of putting on a performance for what your life is like or isn't like, and what are people trying to achieve through these performances? And you know it's not real life, real life, there's ups, there's downs, there's many different things going around. And are they doing this for the views, mate? Are they doing this to get attention? Are they doing what's the point of this?
It's all for fame, it's all for clout, it's all for views, and perhaps even money. Their wives are not even in correct hijab.
Okay.
Either tabarruj, a lot of makeup, tight outfits, baby hair is out. And again, everyone's on their journey, right?
Right.
But what if she's a girl doing this behind closed doors, off camera, no one sees her, and she's on her personal journey with Allah, trying to get correct hijab? May Allah make it easy on her.
I mean,
But the woman that's defiantly out here, publicly on TikTok,
why? Just for views, basically.
of course.
And you're saying that the Muslim husbands here, and again, look, like I always say, mate. Listen, if you're not Muslim, if you live a certain lifestyle, then you go do your thing, mate. This is again content geared towards a specific audience, and it's a bit counterproductive. As guys, we're supposed to have a jealousy over our misses. We're supposed to have a jealousy over our wives, over our partners. And to go on, and to be honest, it's corny, man. It's way corny. These Muslim influencers with their like TikToks and the "I'm smacking my husband in the face" challenge. What was that challenge going around? I'm smacking my husband.
Hitting my husband with the purse from the backseat challenge.
Some joke challenge, bro. Some joke.
No, you're right, bro. Because Ghayrah is a lot of people. What is Ghayrah? Many people call it Ghayrah as well. But Ghayrah, protective jealousy, like you said, is an essential trait of a man in Islam, bro, and just men in general, bro. There's kuffar men that have Ghayrah.
Okay, so we got the smack my husband in the head challenge. What other challenges are going around, mate, other than smack my husband in the head challenge?
You don't even want to know, bro. Let's leave it at that.
Run some by me, mate. I want to know.
TikTok is mad.
TikTok is not a nice place. It's not for me. I'm too old, mate. I'm too old. I'm not even that old, but I'm too old, mate.
I've seen slamming things to see if he'll check me, and oftentimes he doesn't. So there'll be women where their husband comes home from a long day of work and they're just slamming things down, acting like they're mad, stuff like that. There's ones where they act like the husband forgot their anniversary or birthday or what day is it today, when it's completely an arbitrary day, just to cause fitna for the camera.
Right. No, make none of that sense, bro. None of that sense. So what is your message out to these guys and gals, mate? What do you want to say to these people?
Simply, bro, we need to establish that we have Ghayrah. Men have protective jealousy over our women folk. And the scholars have defined Ghayrah to not just be something that you have to prevent you from being a Dayooth, right? You know how we talked about Dayooth men will never enter Jannah, right? Most, if not every single Dayooth man doesn't have Ghayrah or doesn't exercise his Ghayrah. A Dayooth is a man that doesn't have protective jealousy. He's a man that allows his women to fornicate. It's a man that is basically essentially a cuck linguistically, right? He doesn't feel or exercise boundaries when his wife commits sins with other men or things leading up to that. That's what the scholars have said. Not just zina, but things leading up to that. I'm talking being a hijabi model and not G-checking her. I'm talking going outside in a tight abaya, spreading her wings for the gram, for TikTok, for male attention. Right? This is an epidemic. You not doing something about that is imitating Dayooth behavior. You're leading up to being a Dayooth. And the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that there will be 3 types of people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forbid from entering Jannah. One of them is going to be a Dayooth.
And Dayooth is actually quite an extreme term. It gets thrown around quite willy-nilly. But if I'm not mistaken, it's specifically referring to men who are literally okay with their missus doing the job with another man.
Of course, but as I said, the scholars have also said that it's behaviors leading up to that. So if you have cuckish behavior where you're not quite literally allowing your wife to fornicate and copulate with other men, with the next man, but it's things leading up to that. Her putting herself out there to be seen as she's beautified by other men. Men that are doing God knows what to her pictures and videos, bro.
They're having a go to the pictures.
They're having a complete go to the pictures, bro. Completely,
oh
bro.
my God, mate.
Completely.
Mate, I'm sorry. There's a term having a go. Sorry. Look, there's not a laughing matter, to be totally honest with you, mate. I mean, some of these, to be honest with you, some of the TikToks about like smack your husband in the head challenge, that's kind of funny, mate. Not because it's not because of the challenge itself and because of the reasons it's supposed to be funny. It's funny because you found yourself in a situation where your wife is smacking you in the head and putting it online. Oh my God.
See, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that if I were to allow you or encourage you, or if it would be permissible, if it would have been, if I were to tell you to prostrate to any other than Allah, I would be telling wives to prostrate to their husbands. We're not allowed to do that, but he said, if I were to. Similar to if it wasn't hard on my ummah, I would make them use the miswak on their teeth before wudu and salah every time, subhanAllah. So my point is, it's something that is completely disgusting behavior, bro. As Muslim men, we're supposed to have honor. We're supposed to be men of honor, and women are supposed to honor that. Not smack their husbands with a purse from the backseat for clout and for views. While she's completely caked up for millions of followers on TikTok and the gram, bro. Tabarruj is a woman that is beautifying herself in front of non-mahram men. Showing her beauty, makeup, mascara, just looking all dolled up and cute, right? In front of strange non-mahram men. The Prophet ﷺ also mentioned that women who do tabarruj, right? Obviously, and they don't repent and change their ways, they too will never enter Jannah.
So, okay.
So this is not a laughing matter, bro.
All right, I'm going to try and get a bit more serious on this, mate, because it's 1 a.m. I've got a bit of the giggles. I've still got some sugar from the karak chai. So I'm going to try and get a little bit more serious on this. Apologies if I've been obnoxious at all, but listen, okay, so Tabarruj, you were saying, is the overexpression of beauty by women in public. Is that correct?
I wouldn't even say overexpression, just expression of her beauty, showing off her beauty. That's it.
Okay, why are women doing this? I mean, look, like, my knee-jerk reaction is to say, listen, ladies in general, they want to be beautiful, right? They want to be beautiful. They want to be seen as beautiful. I get the impression this is a desire. I get the impression that, as with most desires, there's a healthy way and halal way to express this desire, namely within marriage. And then there's the haram way of expressing this desire, which is outside of marriage and going and, just dressing in inappropriate and displaying yourself in inappropriate ways overtly. When you know better, when you come from you know right and wrong. You're not necessarily, everybody's on their journey in that regard, but I have a lot more patience. To be honest with you, as someone who's on a journey. A new reaver, a lot of patience for a new reaver, taking things step by step, personally. Okay? I have patience for anyone who's making any levels of effort in the right direction. I think that, and I don't want to slam sisters that are genuinely trying to make progress. They know wrong from right, and they're trying to make progress to be better, and they're trying to make progress to be more humble. And I'm sure as gentlemen, there's definitely areas that we can improve on in our lives. I think the area that I'm more concerned with, however, is the people, or at least the sisters, that say it's completely okay. They're not doing anything wrong. Like I know a lot of the whole I'm on a journey thing at times is overused. And at other times, it needs to be acknowledged that everybody is on a journey and everybody is trying to improve. And I have a lot of patience for that, mate. But I think when you try to say something is okay when it's not, or when you try to guise something as good when it's not, or I know with some of these influencer couples, they use excuses such as, we want to show that Muslims are, normal too.
Let's talk about that.
Normalizing Muslims too. And it's just like
they call this Muslim representation or hijabi representation.
Give it a rest.
I've heard hijabi sisters completely beautifying themselves, makeup caked up, bro, for the gram, strutting in a tight abaya with so much makeup, bro. Astaghfirullah, showing even makeup tutorials or beautifying tutorials, skincare tutorials, all this with their plump, juicy lips, bro. Allahumma barak for the gram.
Yeah.
When they do this, I've heard a lot of them say, they need me. A'udhu billah. They'll say they need to be there representing hijabis to put hijab on the map to show that you can be beautiful and being covered too. And they said other women's hidayah with hijab depends on them. That if they stop IG, they're saying it's a fard kifaya. It's an obligation upon the community that they're spewing out, right? For them to continue their tabarruj on Instagram to inspire other Muslims. I.e., I'm going to disobey and defy against Allah to inspire the creation, subhanAllah, as if hidayah is from you, a'udhu billah. Now, my issue with this is manyfold. But I want to focus on one thing right now. How enslaved a Muslimah has to be to think that she needs to be disobeying Allah, to have other women have this. And similarly, you mentioned a very beautiful point. You said that a lot of them will say Muslim couple representation. We need to show them that Muslims are normal too. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. You're not going to change anything, sweetheart. There's been societal pressure since the dawn of time to put Islam out of the map. Whatever you do, it's not going to do anything. I hate to break it to you. Whether you put yourself out there as a normal couple or you don't, they're not going to accept you anyway. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, never will the Jews and Christians take you as allies or approve of you unless you go with them and abandon Islam. I'm paraphrasing, but why do that? Allah is giving you basically the green light to understand and accept and acknowledge that unless you completely go with them their way and disobey Allah, you will never get the approval from them. So just stop chasing validation from kuffar, bro.
100%. And look, here's another thing I'm going to say as well, mate. Listen, you do get good people. You know, there are good people out there, and you know we can have this whole philosophical conversation about what is good, what is bad, and and we can have that conversation for another time. But listen, there are people who are not Muslim who are kind people. You know, who are people that we love, people that
Absolutely.
we respect, we care about very greatly. And, you know, as a Muslim, I have loads of non-Muslim friends. I know lots of non-Muslims who are very kind towards me. I'm very kind towards them. I love them. They love me. We care about each other. You know what I mean? We have might even go for a coffee. We might have a nice chit chat, etc. If they needed something from me, I'll go help them and they'd help me. And, you know, those gentlemen and those sisters, you know, a lot of sisters might have lots of sisters, friends who aren't necessarily Muslim, and they're, you know, those sisters are very respectful towards Islam and very respectful towards Muslims, etc. Great. You know, these people we love, we care about, sure. Society as a whole, however, the big picture of this thing is that Muslim representation, not Muslim representation, we're going to be the other. You know what I mean? We don't fit in entirely, mate. We live within our own bubble, so to speak. And we find that out the hard way whenever something gets tough, whenever things get tough. Yes, we have nice communities at times, the small communities, but as a whole, the whole like Western society will not accept us. They're trying to drive their ideals onto us. The media is trying to drive ideals onto us. And again, I'm not talking about your neighbors who are lovely people, who are very respectful and, you know, maybe getting you gifts that are, they think, oh, well, then what's, let me get you a halal gift or something, you know, or have that kind of lovely people. But as a whole, society, the media, the Western society is never going to truly accept us, never going to truly integrate with us completely. We're always going to be the other, you know, because we're different. We don't drink alcohol, we don't eat pork, we don't consume what they want to sell to us, you know, what they want us to consume, and they're not going to be able to manipulate us in the ways that they manipulate others, because we're going to stick to our Quran and Sunnah, you know. So all this talk about hijab representation, to be honest with you, mate, you're kind of lying to yourself. I feel like you're telling yourself this to justify your actions. I don't see what goodness you're really bringing, you know. I know there's a big difference between the sister that maybe there's many ways of doing this, cutting this cake, right? So there's the sister that's going to do the hijab thing with full makeup. And that's one thing that you're lying to yourself. And then there's the other sisters who are more, let's say, maybe genuinely a bit more modest, and they're trying to put out Islamic content out there. And there, I feel like there is room for that, but it doesn't. The room for that isn't in high heels and red lipstick. You know what I mean?
The room for that is off camera in the masjids, where most Muslim reverts are going to be in the community, and they help them and they talk to them about real change in hijab. They have heart-to-hearts with them. Not having an Instagram where 50,000 followers are men and they're just thirsting after you.
What about okay, I have a question for you then. So what about some sisters who maybe on they do the camera stuff, but on camera they might wear niqab, or they're behind a veil, or they maybe just do a bit more talking as opposed to, like, you know, showing their kind of beauty. And you could see that this content being created is not necessarily to display beauty, but more so creating dawah.
So I'm not a scholar, bro, so I can't speak on this. What I can tell you is most women have a very nice voice.
Okay.
I'm not going to deny that at all, bro. I'm going to say it as it is.
Yeah.
Call me whatever. Call me hungry, thirsty, whatever. I don't care what the women say, bro. I'm happily married, Allah Mabarak. But I'm going to tell you as it is. Most women have a very nice, feminine, soft, alluring voice. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in Surah Al-Ahzab, I believe verse 55, if not 53, do not be soft in speech. O wives of the Prophet, do not be soft in speech, lest he in whose heart is disease may be moved with desire. So think about it, bro. A woman who is speaking in just a normal feminine voice, which is just softened, which is alluring. Scholars have said this is impermissible for a woman to speak like this in the presence of non-mahram men, kuffar men. How are you going to control that on social media, bro? There's women that, unfortunately, I'm telling you as it is, because I counsel men, I coach men, right? They'll say, yeah, you know, when I try to help them on nofap to not relapse, right? And I'm like, what triggered you? They're like, oh, today at this time I went on Explore page and there was a girl that was like, you know, here's my day in the life as a Muslimah, and she had a very nice feminine voice. Does it justify that they relapse on nofap? No. But that was the trigger. That was absolutely the trigger. Another thing that we need to understand is Allah also mentions in Surah Al-Ahzab, two women, that if we were to, or two men, if we want to ask them of anything, to do so with them behind the veil, behind the curtain, behind the screen. It is better for our hearts and for their hearts. Think about it, bro. If you don't see them, there's very little to work with. Today, the kuffar, the creeps, I'm not talking about the beautiful brothers and sisters that are non-Muslim, that are sincere and good people, bro. Of course I'm not talking about them, bro, like you said. I'm talking about the creeps, bro. The ones that all they need is to see a niqabi and see those eyes.
Some Muslims are like that too.
Of course. And they'll start fetishizing that.
Yeah.
So exactly, some Muslims are like that. Why put yourself, sis, out there to give them things to work with? Especially if you're showing yourself beautified today in the age of deep fake and all this nonsense. Only Allah knows what's going to be happening very soon with these women. Astaghfirullah.
Sure. And what about the husbands of these sisters, the ones that are doing the couple stuff? What's your message to the husbands?
I think they're one of three categories of men, bro. Number one, they have Ghayrah, but they're suppressing it. They let society tell them that you are a misogynist if you tell your wife to get off social media and stop showing her face to everyone, and beauty to everyone, and makeup to everyone, and body to everyone, and curves to everyone. They let society tell them they're oppressive and controlling and barbaric. They let society brainwash them and take down the honor that Allah has given you with the haqq. Number two, they have the ghayrah, and perhaps they don't care about society, but they allowed this Dayooth behavior where they allow their woman to be out here completely showing her beauty and body to everybody for the gram and for TikTok, and they didn't say anything for a long time. They always had an issue with it. But now, if they try to say something, their wife might be like, why didn't you tell me this before? You allowed me to grow my platform. You allowed me to do this. Or three, they've corrupted their fitrah to the point where this generally does not bother them. So the fact that if society moves like a duck, quacks like a duck, we're going to be ducks too. If everyone's wife does it, trust them. It's okay. Don't be insecure. A real man allows his wife to show herself off and her beauty off. They've bought the Kool-Aid and they've swallowed the proverbial nonsense. So now the weirdest thing for them is going to be to check their wife and to tell them, Habibti, sweetheart, I don't like this behavior. Don't show yourself to non-mahram men. Don't beautify yourself for non-mahram men. Don't walk a certain way in front of non-mahram men. Don't talk in a loud manner when we're in a gathering or we're in public, attracting the attention from non-mahram men. With your feminine, sultry voice.
You know what, mate? I want to say something else about that is, you know, I was thinking what would be advice to avoid these situations. And I think the best advice to avoid it is just simply that, to avoid it. Don't get yourself in that situation
to
in the
begin
first
with.
place. Yeah, I think before anyone's getting married, they need to get themselves their head straight, you know, into some regarding deen, think about where you want to be by the end of your life. Yeah. Do you want to be in a position where Allah is pleased with you, where you're practicing Islam to a high standard, etc., etc.? And maybe on that journey right now where you're not quite there just yet. But I think before you get married, have that communication with your potential spouse, your wife, your husband, about where you want to kind of end up, what direction you want to take your life. And, you know, use that as a starting point. So you're not finding yourself in a situation where your wife or your husband is acting in obscene ways online. You know, make sure you've already had that conversation beforehand. And if you'll find yourself marrying someone, you need to understand that you kind of have to accept them for who they are when you marry them. And that sounds like the acceptance speech, right? Just accept me for who I am. But that's not exactly what I'm getting at. I'm more so trying to say, listen, if you
have to meet them where they're at.
Yeah, you know what it is? If you marry a sister who already has that kind of platform and who is already online in that way, it's kind of almost unfair for you to go to her and tell her to change, if that makes sense, right?
What do you mean by that?
Like, you've married them for who they are, where they're at.
Oh, you're saying you've already married them?
Or at least, yeah. Like, if
Okay,
you're getting involved,
I digress, yeah.
you're discussing marriage with this sister.
Okay, discussing marriage, no, I don't think it's unfair.
No, but do you know what it is, mate? Do you know what it is? Just go find someone who isn't on that in the first place. Why? Like, here's the thing. You tell them to change, right? Okay, cool, they change. Yeah? Now you're married. Now it's 1 year in, 2 years in, 3 years in. Yeah? Things aren't going so well. You have an argument. I changed because of you. I did all this because of you. Now look, now that, now this. And then they're going to feel, I was happy back then. I was vibing back then. And I changed that because of you. They're going to be more inclined to go back towards that. If that wasn't inherent...
I don't think in every case, bro.
Not in every case, bro. But it
happens.
It happens, brother. It happens. And they will be more inclined... You're better off finding someone that already shares that exact same value as you.
Absolutely.
Than finding someone and trying to change them. You know?
As in who you meet
yeah.
is as far as you can expect them to be. And if they don't improve even 1% more, you can't say anything.
Yeah.
Because that's how you married them. Meaning, if she's not wearing hijab and you married her, don't expect her to be guaranteeing that she's going to start wearing hijab. Inshallah, you can inspire her, right? Of course.
Inshallah.
But if she doesn't, you chose that woman.
Yeah. And it's like I said, it's almost unfair for you to try and change her at that stage, you know, because you're also going to put her under this emotional pressure and this kind of what you just if that was that important to you, if hijab was that important for you, mate, go marry someone who already wears hijab. Why
what about men that have no experience with women?
Yeah.
So they find the one. It's the first girl that's ever given them attention. The first halal woman.
Yeah.
They finally get her because, you know what? It's okay. I'll let that IG slide. I'll let this slide. I'll let that slide. But deeply it bothers them. And now it's too late. What would you say to that?
There's no such thing as the one, mate.
But they don't know that they've never had experience with women, bro.
Is it the one or the four? Is it the one or is it the four, mate? You know, like, listen, I appreciate you're loved up. I appreciate you're sprung. You know what I mean? Guys and gals, you know.
Give a message to them.
Yeah, listen, guys and gals. Yeah, listen, look. Girls, you might get sprung over a guy. That happens too. Guys might get sprung over a girl. And then in that moment, you believe that this person is the one and only for you. My best advice to anyone is listen, before you go out there looking for marriage and looking to get married, already outline to yourself what are the important qualities for you to get married to. Yeah. What is the right match for you? Okay. Once you've outlined that, and before you've met anyone, started to kind of make this little checklist, some degree of checklist. Now, there's like some ridiculous things you put on that checklist that get a bit too specific. It's like, chill out, mate. This ain't Build a Bear, mate. You know what I mean? Have you ever had a Build a Bear?
Yeah.
Yeah, you go to the shop and you build a bear and you get like I want this bear to be a fireman or something.
I'm used to that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm used to telling brothers to chill out with some of these Build-A-Bear requirements. Like, I'm not going to name who. I have many clients that they've come to me, is this too much? Is it too much? I'm expecting a woman who's above this height. And I have to tell them, yeah, it might be, because now you're limiting your pool to too much, bro.
And
You want a woman who's, let's say you're 6 foot, so you want a woman who's 5'8" and above. You're really limiting your pool now. You know?
Guys and gals, you know. So guys, they might have a lot of kind of more superficial, like physical kind of requirements. Also, by the way, some of those guys also aren't in much of a look at themselves. You know what I mean? They're not in the gym making sure they're looking fresh and good and top tier and whatnot, and they're not necessarily working on themselves enough, but they're demanding a lot of things from the sisters. And that problem also comes two ways. So the sisters sometimes are just demanding ridiculous things from the guys, where it's like, what's this Build-A-Bear, mate? What's this Build-A-Bear husband? And what's this Build-A-Bear wife? So sisters, similarly, they may be like, all right, listen, mate, I want a guy who makes loads of money. Yeah, he's going to buy me pink G-Wagon. I'm sorry, I keep using the term pink G-Wagon. I mean, Chanel bag, it's just a meme right now, right? And at the same time as them saying, I want him to be super successful, rich, good looking, handsome, tall, great shape, 6'6", whatnot, six pack, 6 figures, 6 foot, all this, that, the other. And I want him to come and do the dishes when he gets home after work and cook me dinner. It's like, mate, just relax, mate.
Okay, come on now. Let's be reasonable.
Let's be reasonable. This is a joke thing, bro. So both sides, you need to be reasonable. You need to kind of look at what's a good match for you. But yeah, sorry, back to my advice is this. Outline what's important to you. If hijab is important for you, if having a sister who's not on social media or a brother who's not on social media is important for you, when you go out, so before you fall in love with anyone, make sure that that's all outlined clearly, and then almost just kind of run that person by a checklist that you're meeting. Do they match up with what you want, what your preferences are, you know? And that way, you're not going to find yourself in a situation where, oh, you've fallen in love with this girl or guy, and now you're trying to change them. And now it's just a complete crap show. You know what I mean? Because, you know, you can never, number one, really change someone. That's up to Allah. And if you do change them and they're not necessarily 100% happy about it, and you've kind of forced it down their throats that a little bit, they're going to end up resenting you, mate. They're going to end up resenting you. You're going to make them get rid of that social media profile, and they're going to end up resenting you. Am I making sense here, Fayad? I'm not making sense. Oh, I am making sense. Great. Nod of approval from Fayad Fit, my brother.
I'm glad you got your energy back, bro.
My brother.
Or are you a zombie deep down and you're just acting like you got energy?
Do you know when you reach that certain level of tired?
Where it hurts?
Where you're just like delirious. So you get a bit delirious. I'm at that level.
So we got unhinged damage, don't we?
Somewhat.
Slightly.
I'm trying to keep myself hinged because I know I'm on camera. But trust me, if there wasn't a camera on right now,
it's over for us.
It's a shutdown, bruv. Yeah. You're going to see the Dana Chavold that gets cancelled coming out, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to remain in a sane brain right here and remain calm and remain...
Let's talk about some peer-reviewed literature too, bro. There's many academic studies that conclude one thing. Dozens, bro. Hundreds of thousands. Not hundreds of thousands, but maybe hundreds of thousands of participants in them. They've shown an inversely proportional relationship between those that excessively display their marriage or relationship on social media and satisfaction. Meaning, those that are more likely to be unhappy in their marriage or relationship will be the ones that are showing off more, taking pictures and posting them more. Conversely, those that are actually more happy will be less likely to show off because there's nothing to prove. Think about it, bro. It's always those women that are putting stuff in their story at 4 a.m. You know, I don't need anyone. I'm okay. I'm independent. I'm strong. Okay, sweetheart, who are you trying to prove this to? You know?
Cool. Yeah.
I think you're blocking the camera.
Sorry.
No, you good.
But those women writing all that stuff. Okay.
Like, thank you, sweetheart. Who are you trying to prove that to?
Got you. You know, like, and as well, you know, when you start putting stuff like that as well, by the way, you're kind of letting everyone know that you're not all that, mate. You're not very happy, you know.
Absolutely. And we saw this recently. I made a video about it on FatFit about Khalid and Salama, the UAE couple that allegedly divorced. What do you expect if you're asking for evil eye? So what is evil eye? The Prophet ﷺ mentioned that if anything were to overtake the divine decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it would be the evil eye. Subhanallah. If anything were to overtake the divine decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it would be the evil eye. You're putting your marriage out there. You're showing everything. Where you guys are laying, your bedroom, all the laughs you have, all the good times you have, where you eat, the cute nicknames you call each other, how your first night encountering one another in halal was.
Did they do that, yeah?
Yes, because the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that everyone that has a blessing will have an envier or will be envied, subhanallah. It's in our nature, bro. It's quite literally in our nature. That's why the Prophet ﷺ also mentioned, if you see your brother with something that is a blessing or something admirable, something commendable, something you enjoy or approve of, just say Allah Mubarak.
Allah Mubarak.
Why not? Well, is it that difficult? But not everyone will be on social media. Can you guarantee it? No. So, mate, come on, mate.
Come on, Geish.
Come on, bloke.
Come on, Geisha.
It's called a private life for a reason. It's not a public life. It's called a private life. Why are we putting our private life out there, bro?
100%.
You don't know who is going to be envying you, who is going to be giving evil eye, let alone who's going to be doing sihr. It's a serious thing, bro. Nobody has a blessing except that it will be envied. I guarantee you, bro. Let alone a nice, attractive Muslimah that you're promoting, or a handsome Muslim man that she's promoting. There's going to be men and women in there, single as a Pringle, bro, that are going to look at that being like, I wish I had that. That would have been me. Matter of fact, there was actually a scientific study that done, the literature concluded that people have no choice but to start imagining themselves in these situations. Meaning, when you post a picture with your car, a lot of people will be wondering, what if I had that car? How would my life be? That should be me. Or, I wonder if that'll ever be me. Same as if you're posting a nice honeymoon in Bali with your missus. People are going to wonder, what if I was there? What if that was me instead? Sub me in, coach. At least in theory and memory, in imagination. Where do you think this leads, bro? At the very least, do you want other men thinking about what it would be like to be with your wife?
Of course not.
So why give them visuals?
100%.
Why give them ammunition, bro? That's my question.
So you're saying the reason that I keep imagining myself in Tate's Bugatti is because I keep looking at pictures of Tate's Bugatti. No, I'm joking.
So speaking of which, what color is your Bugatti?
What color is mine, mate? Oh, mate. I haven't got one yet. But once we get those Shilajit and those Black Sea sponsors, mate. once we get those stones with the
rings.
What they call them, Sunnah stones or something?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, shout me, brother. Trying to get that Bugatti money here, dude. Anyways. Listen.
We're going to have to be selling Shilajit for 50,000 euros, bro, to buy one Bugatti.
Sell a lot of Shilajit, mate, to get that Bugatti. Oh, mate, listen, who knows? Maybe there's like I'm sure there's Shilajit kingpin out there.
We have to make it in a way where we have to justify a ridiculously high ticket price tag, because Shilajit right now, I think there's a brand, I think it's called Pure Black, and they sell Shilajit with actual gold in it, and they sell it for $99 for a little tub, 30-gram tub. We're going to have to find some way to legitimize, justify selling like $5,000. Maybe it's like Danish breathed in it or something. Like, I don't know. Some of you guys are like, you guys ride or die for Dan that bad. Danish touched it or something, you know, maybe his signature in it, his autograph, you know, $10,000, you know, half the proceeds go to charity, Sadaqah Jariyah.
Yeah.
The other half to the Bugatti fund for Danish.
Oh, man, I want to know more about this gold Shilajit, man. Hey, listen. We'll give people a code. We'll be like, damn the man.
HB10, Halal Bros 10.
Halal Bros 10, boom. scale's gonna skyrocket. You just give us a cut, all right? Anyways, no, I'm playing. I play too much. Listen,
You'll never see us sell shilajit, bro. Allah Mubarak.
nah. Yeah,
think
never. I'll be selling snake oil if I can, mate. What do they call it? The old kind of people back in the days, they used to sell the fake, the fake tonics that'll bring your hair back and stuff like that, mate. I'm bold as Umrah, brother. You know what I mean? So like, if I find somebody, if I could sell some snake oil,
Speaking of
make
which,
your
bro,
hair
if
back.
you feel rather comfortable talking about it on camera,
Go on.
how old were you when your hair started balding or thinning?
Not that bad. It was about 27, 26. I mean, I started to see
Does it
signs
run in
of
your
it.
family?
Yeah. I think it does. Yeah.
So what about the men in your mom's side? So typically this is part of
No, it's mostly. I think it's my dad's side. I think.
no, but how are the men in your mom's side? Let's say her father, her brothers, they're bald too, aren't they?
Nah, they were all right, mate. They were,
No, now.
Yeah, no, they're honestly, yeah, they
Still.
good hair, man. Yeah. I'm thinking about my grandfather. He passed away. May Allah bless him. But before he passed away, for his age, he had pretty good hair, mate. Yeah. Don't know what's going on with my hair, mate. Listen, we need that snake oil, mate. One more thing I wanted to touch on though, I was going to say to you, Salama and who?
Khalid Al-Ameri and Salama.
Okay, Khalid.
UAE couple.
Khalid and Salama, yeah. Mate, listen, Muslim brother and sister at the end of the day, may Allah bless them, may Allah guide them, may Allah grant them Jannah, may Allah make it easy for them, etc. Divorce ain't an easy thing, it's a tough thing, nothing to
Alleged. We still don't know.
Yeah, listen, I make a lot of jokes. I ain't trying to laugh about someone's misfortunes, may Allah make their life much easier. But you know what's another thing about kind of publicizing your relationship?
Tell us.
Now everybody's watching your divorce, bruv. Now everyone's talking about it. For all you know, like, divorce is not an easy thing, man. Like, divorce is not an easy thing. For all you know, Salama and Khalid, they could be like in tears right now at home. They could be really struggling to get some good night's sleep. You know what I mean? And that's just normal divorce. A normal divorce, people will struggle to get a good night's sleep.
Even if it's not publicized.
That's what I'm saying. If it's not publicized, it's a hard thing,
Imagine this now.
Now imagine everyone's talking about it. Now imagine, as well, another thing about divorce and when a marriage ends, a lot of the time the guy or the girl will feel like they didn't get heard out properly. They'll feel there's some injustices happening. They'll feel like they never got to really air their side. They might still need some closure. They might still need those conversations. They might feel massively misunderstood. And now imagine that's with no publicity. Now imagine you got hundreds of people commenting on about why you got divorced.
Social media, undoubtedly, bro. You're right.
And
it makes you maintain a standard. So it's like, even if I don't want to post something, I have to, even if I'm going through something with my husband, let's just smile, put on our happy face, put on that selfie, and at least we have to. We haven't posted in so long, Let's just show we're happy. It's sad. It's like those people that are going through something with their girlfriend or wife, and they send that black screen just to keep that screenshot, that snap streak alive. Instead of just fixing the marriage. Ajib, bro.
I've never done a snap streak either, bro. I can't lie, I've never done a snap streak.
I had a couple 800 plus snap streaks, bro, 1,000 plus. And then I just deleted the app altogether, I think, about a year and a half ago.
Fair enough, man.
Fitna, bro.
Fitna, brother, fitna. So, like, yeah, so as I was saying, it's like, imagine now, one of them, I have no idea what happened in their relationship. Just imagine, let's say, one of them massively screwed over the other. And the person who screwed over, like, between themselves, they know who screwed over who. Okay? Now, imagine the person who's being screwed over is having to read comments about how they're the ones who are the bad guys. Do you know, it's like you're biting on your own heart, mate. You know how hard that would be to swallow? You know what I mean? Don't do that to yourself. Do you know what I mean? Don't do that to yourself. Listen, if you can, keep your relationship offline. Keep it wholesome. Keep it real. There's not much benefit to publicizing all of that. You know what I mean? Keep your relationship for you. It's healthier. You stay away from all the evil eye. You don't give false expectations to others. And you're not kind of creating a fitna in the community. Like your relationship, talking about your relationship openly doesn't give anyone anything other than entertainment. It's not dawah, bruv. You know what I mean? It's not dawah. You know what I'm saying? that I can, very limited cases in which people can talk about the relationship and it's dawah. Do you know what I mean? Unless, I guess, it's maybe one side of the story, like Sheikh Asim has talked about, how he has 2 wives and how it's not easy to manage 2 wives. And it's not a game, like people say. Okay, I can see where there's wisdom in exposing certain things about your personal life to teach a lesson to young men that want multiple wives. Listen, it's not a game, and there's something to be learned and understood there, But for the most part, no, these kind of more intimate exposures of your love life, no, just keep that to yourself. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Absolutely, bro.
Can I go to sleep now, bruv?
I think so, bro. If there's nothing else, we can conclude this. We can wrap it up.
Yeah. What else? What else is there? Did you ever hear about this one? The main kind of like culprit I've heard about this one, mate. This is quite old. This is quite old. What I'm about to mention. So I don't know if you've heard of this. Did you hear about the hijabi who did the Playboy?
Astaghfirullah.
No, she didn't get her gear off, but she was in hijab. But she featured in the Playboy magazine.
That's worse.
In hijab.
No, that's worse.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Respectfully so. Because you're not representing Islam.
Did you hear about that?
No.
Though?
If you're out there with your hair up, bro, with your gear off, as you said, and as you mentioned, no one's associating Islam with you. Do your thing. I mean, don't, but do your thing. But if you're there in hijab, but incorrect hijab, or you're in front of the hubs, or you're in front of Playboy, you're doing more of a disservice to the representation of Islam and the perception that the non-Muslims will have about us.
Yeah.
Because you're there fetishizing and beautifying the hijab, bro.
Yeah, I feel like I'm showing my age, mate. I don't think it was quite a while ago that happened. But yeah, I remember that there were some imams who were actually trying to defend this decision. And they were trying to say, yeah, no, seriously.
I saw that.
You did see it?
Yes.
Okay, and I think they were trying to say, well,
compassionate imams.
That's it. And they were trying to say, yeah, like Malcolm X was on Playboy, And it's just like, bruv, like he didn't get his gear off as well either. I think he featured in some sort of column or for some magazine or something. But listen, Malcolm X is not going to be sexualized in the same way that a woman will be sexualized. Do you know what I mean? A man is not going to be sexualized the same way as a woman will be sexualized if she's on Playboy. I mean, who is buying Playboy?
Men. Thirsty men.
Thirsty men. All right?
Malcolm X.
Yeah.
No, go on. I'll let you finish.
It's not going to be some, person who's looking for an education, looking to learn something new. Let me go buy the Playboy, mate. Most guys with wives anyway, if they went to buy a Playboy, their wife would bloody well kick their ass. Rightfully so.
Kick their rear end.
Exactly, and rightfully so, mate. So it's just weird. Like, who's the target audience for that article, mate? I mean, we're digging up some skeletons right now, but like, yeah, I guess it's on topic, And who knows? Maybe she's made tawbah, and maybe that whole thing was a big mess that's been brushed on. And may Allah bless her if that's the case. And
I mean, Malcolm X was a Muslim. Rahimullah.
Love Malcolm X.
This hijabi, from what's apparent, Muslim.
Yeah.
Yet, they're still on Playboy. That's questionable, bro.
Yeah.
Tupac Shakur. Now I'm going to say rest in peace because I don't know the permissibility of saying that to non-Muslims. But Tupac Shakur. Legend, bro. Legend. Non-Muslim, correct? Right or wrong?
As much as we know, yes.
As much as we know. Offered a lot of money to star in a Hollywood film to portray and represent a Muslim gangster. He denied it. He declined it, bro. A lot of money back then. He said no. He said, don't you know there ain't no such thing as a Muslim gangster? These are people of God. These are people of faith. Muslim gangster, what is that? He denied the role, bro. Yet you got Muslims falsely and inappropriately representing Islam. Going on Playboy, going on rap music videos, doing TikTok dances in hijab, bro. Yet Tupac Shakur, non-Muslim, didn't want to taint and tarnish the reputation and the perception of Islam, bro. Subhanallah.
It's mad. Sometimes you do see non-Muslims really show a lot of respect to Islam.
It's innocent, bro. It's fitrah. It's haya.
Yeah.
They respect it.
They 100%. Those are some beautiful people, man.
And may Allah guide them all.
Yeah, may Allah guide them all, man. And so when you do see a Muslim flip on it, man, it's a crazy thing. And may Allah listen. This is a judgment. I want to say judgment-free zone. I mean, What do you think? Is this a judgment-free zone, Fad? We're trying to outline what's right and what's wrong to some extent, or give some guidance in that regard. But is this a judgment-free zone, Fad?
Absolutely. This is 100% safe space zone, bro.
More so to do with empathy, trying to understand, but also trying to guide at the same time and trying to outline. Let's stay away from some of this other stuff. We none of us are perfect. We're not trying to kick it on girls at the moment or kick it on guys, and we all make mistakes, but let's try to make a step forward in a positive direction. And
it's tough, bro.
Yeah.
Let's say you're a sister watching this video and you're putting yourself out there, beautifying your face with makeup for the whole gram, for the whole world to see, bro.
Come on, guys.
And you're still on your journey yourself. Couple months down the line, you're studying the deen now. Now you're of the opinion that niqab is fard. Millions of people doing whatever they want to your pictures with your face. If you believe, this is what the scholars have said, if you believe niqab is fard, or you believe niqab is not fard, difference in opinion, right or wrong?
Yeah.
But if you believe niqab is fard, then it's sinful for you to show your face.
It becomes mandatory upon you. Yeah.
Because you follow that opinion. But if you believe niqab is not fard, then there's no sin showing your face. But you don't know where you'll be in a few years, let alone months. And if you change your opinion now and you believe that niqab is fard based on evidence, you got a whole catalog of your face, sweetheart, on the internet. And what are you going to do? It's irreversible, let alone beautified face, which even though the scholars that might differ on is niqab fard or not, even they will agree that not only is niqab still better, but regardless, it's still haram to show your face beautified like that with makeup for non-mahram men publicly. Any sin that happens, of course, the men have to take accountability for their own lack of self-control, but you will contribute to that. Similarly, if I go out and I start, I don't know, selling substances, intoxicants, khamar, if somebody buys it, is it on them? Of course. But I'm still the one selling it. That's why alcohol is haram for me as a Muslim to sell or to buy.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question before we wrap up here. As we mention all the time, Halal Bros is all about trying to empathize with brothers and sisters, trying to create less of a divide between men and women, try to create empathy between men and women. And it's not about ruffling feathers. It's not about trying to be controversial. I'm sure we say stuff that is going to annoy people. That's kind of the nature of saying stuff. You
People
say
will
something,
clip it up anyway.
yeah, people are going to find something they're annoyed with anyway. Okay, cool. No problem. All right. My question is, because again, we're podcast bros, right? Reluctantly, Muslim podcast bros, whether we like it or not. And this is the Not More Muslim podcast bros on a podcast. Sisters watching this video, what do you think their perspective is going to be? What do you think is what aboutisms that's going to come out here? What haven't we addressed that you feel the sisters would want us to address? Or do you think we've covered most things? Or do we need to wait to see in the comments and make a follow-up video?
Excellent. So frankly, bro, I could care less because whataboutism is going to be there. I'm not trying to be callous, but I'm saying if I can try to identify some of the common whataboutisms, there's still going to be some that we don't say, and they'll say this. What if somebody had this held to my head and told me I have to post myself out there? Like, okay, sis, sure, but what if you're not? And you're not. Let's cut the nonsense. You're not. The major ones, just to put you at ease.
I'm trying to talk about the innocent, the
common ones.
No, I'm talking about the innocent sisters who just feel unheard, and people on a journey. People feel unheard. People that feel that these podcasts are just about criticizing women. So, what's the message to those sincere sisters? Not the ones that whatever they're gonna get some.
Do your research. Yeah. That's it. Do your research. Because today a lot of them are genuinely believing that it's permissible to show themselves beautified to the gram. Because they listen to scholars that say it is. Just like they listen to scholars that say her money is her money and his money is also her money. This is not Islamic.
No.
They'll listen to scholars that say the Prophet ﷺ used to do dishes and mop the floor and do these chores. This is fabrication. This is slander. This is not Islamic.
Those hadiths are what?
Oh, the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ serving his family is true. But this was stitching his own clothes, fixing his armor, milking the goat, this type of stuff, not doing domestic duties, bro. They will listen to scholars for dollars that say that, you know what, today, if you want to get a house, you can get a riba mortgage if you intend to pay it off. You can get student loans to get that degree, even though your dad is supposed to take care of you as a woman. You can do that as long as you intend to pay it off. SubhanAllah, bro. Get your knowledge up. Men and women watching this. Get your knowledge up, and soon, inshallah, Allah will aid you with the intellect and the proficiency to see things as they are. To not assume things about the deen when they're not true. This is number one. Number two, best thing that I'm sure both of us can agree on this tonight. As a Muslimah, it's not worth it to put yourself out there. The grass is not greener on the other side. You think this temporary fame, clout, likes, love, comments, it's going to bring you some sort of validation. And perhaps it is. But it's not worth it. If you're disobeying the only thing that matters to us as Muslims, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not worth it. It's never worth it, bro. Similarly, if you're obeying Allah and everyone is unvalidating you, W.
Winning.
Allahumma barik.
Easier said than done.
Of
So
course.
big up anyone who's doing that, you know.
Of course. I'm struggling myself. This is a reminder to myself first and foremost. So are you.
Yeah, I heard a story today. I don't know if you told me the story, but somebody told me a story today about the sister who's reverted and her family when they kick her out the home.
Yes, I was telling you that.
Yeah, man, that's sad, man. That's sad.
When you hear stuff like this, it makes you so grateful to be a Muslim, doesn't it?
Counts you-
As we take it for granted.
Makes me count my blessings, mate. You know what I mean? Makes me count my blessings, you know? So grateful for my family, grateful for a lot of things, grateful for good
Alhamdulillah
friends.
for Islam.
And alhamdulillah for Islam, of course. And, you know, yeah, that's it from me, mate.
With this being said, I want to take a quick second to plug the Instagram. Dan the Man just started Instagram right now. Obviously, links down below in the description box when you see this podcast, inshallah. Give him a follow on Instagram. You'll probably see my stuff there too. And inshallah, we'll see you next week. Dan, is there anything else, bro?
If you find me on TikTok, it's too late for me. Just find me, and what word can I use instead of the K word?
What's the K word? Allow it. With this being said, anything else, bro?
That's it, brother.
All right, brother. It's 2 a.m. now. Boys and sisters, inshallah, we're going to get some rest. It was a pleasure talking to you, bro.
My brother.
Amazing podcast, as always.
Thank you, brother.
Habibi, may Allah accept it from you and allow you to continue being a leader and speaking the truth, no matter how difficult it gets and no matter how very few support you have backing you up. Because if you have Allah, you have everything. But if you have the people, but you don't have Allah, you have nothing.
Well, let's hope we got a couple people agreeing with me. No, I'm playing. God bless you, my brother. And same to you, my brother. Much love. May Allah increase you in goodness, guide you, and hopefully make this podcast not just not just more Muslim podcast pros on a podcast, but actually something productive. Inshallah. Podcast.
Podcast.
Yes.
Boom. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, boys.